Hi there, and welcome back to the dojo. This is Russ Leach. I am comic book black belt, and this video is a quick insight into how I look at putting characters into faces. So the last video I did, the tutorial insight video, was basic elements of where to put eyes, nose, mouth, that kind of thing, and how you would structure an elementary face and an average female or male face. Once you've got those basics, once you understand where eyes, nose and mouth and ears and shape of head incorporated, where those things go and how they fit together, then as I was saying before, this is all from a comic strip perspective. It's all how I approach my comic strip illustration. Once you've got those basics down pat, once you have those rule sets in your head, then you can start playing with them. Then you can start characterizing and creating individual looks for all kinds of different characters. So I've cheated a little bit because I'm not actually putting my baselines in the second half of this video. That I'll be doing that. So literally all I'm doing in these first 6 faces is just letting myself go, and just making sure that eyes, nose and mouth are kind of in the right order, as it were, rather than in exactly the right position. And you can see how this changes the character of a face. So I've done like a quick demon sketch there, and I'm doing a witch kind of look there. So it doesn't matter, what sex it is, or what gender or whatever. It's all about the characterization of the features and placing them on the head, on the core area where those features go. So the face is applied to the front of the head, and then manipulating the sizes, the positions, and that's not just up and down the face, but the depth, how far they go back into the skull, so that you can have like an overhang on your forehead, on the forehead, or an overhang on the mouth, or a deepening of the chin. And these can create all kinds of different characterizations, whether they be alien, bestial, fine features, beauty, ugliness, whatever it is. You're creating all these things, and by putting these things together in conjunction with characterization that you'd have put together, say, in a script or from a writer, or even your own stuff, you then create a character, a unique character. And a lot of that depends on the look and how they interact visually with the reader, with getting that characterization across from the story to the reader by using a particular face. And so if all your characters look exactly the same, so say you've got it down pat, and you say, okay, yeah, I know where the eyes, the nose and the mouth goes, but all your characters end up having a similar look, it can not only be a little bit jarring visually, but also it can confuse a story. You'll have one superhero talking to another superhero, and they're both square-jawed, short-haired superheroes, and you have close-ups on the two of them, and if you can't give either of them a unique look, as in their own character, then it starts getting awkward, because you may get a couple of close-ups and think, well, who's talking to who here? So it's very, very important to get that characterization. So underpinning your work with good anatomy, and with the basic rule sets for those anatomies, so like I did in the previous video, very basic stuff. They didn't go into detail, or specific detail. It was just proportions. So the first video was proportions, and the next couple of videos was about roughly where muscle goes, large groups of muscle and ligature and that kind of thing. And then after that, then I built basic faces, and then we come to this video where we're talking about more characterization, specifically giving your characters character. So I'm just finishing off down here with a sort of a professor type. The glasses, adding in things like glasses, facial hair. These all give, these all add to a character. So in the second half, as I was suggesting, I'm not cheating quite so much. So I'm actually just putting down very simply, making some shapes. So I've got some long shapes and some short shapes, some fat shapes. Different areas where I might put the basic lines. So just like a couple of lines for, there go the eyes, there goes the mouth. That's the centre of the face. So literally just flick these in, and then once flicked in, just go for it. Add in your detail. So I think this guy's going to be a sort of a weird alien kind of guy, or maybe an imp or something. And I've given him a big forehead and a big skull, and then a tiny little face to the front of it, and it gives that kind of impish sort of wariness. You kind of look at him and think, oh, I don't know if I'm going to trust this guy or not, you know. And then the next figure is long and thin, with probably quite where I've put that line there, with a long top lip. I think we'll probably put some facial hair on him as well, and some thick lips and very rough teeth. And it's kind of got a sort of that's got a completely different look to it. That's it's still sort of something you wouldn't trust, but it's not in the imp territory. It's a bit more human. But again, there's lots of characterization. No one would ever look like this in real life, but it's all about the characterization. So how realistic do you want to draw? How realistic do you want the outcome to be? What's more important to you? Is it more about characterization and telling the story, or is it more important to hit some kind of photorealism? Personally, I would suggest what you want is lots more characterization. You don't want to be hitting too close to photorealism in a comic, because you're never going to make any money out of that, because you're never going to have the time to do the comic you want to do. If it's a labour of love and you've got loads of money in the bank, great, off you go. But if you want to tell a story on a regular basis, you need to fund that by getting paid to tell the story and get it out to more readers. And of course, the whole point of telling stories, it's part of our culture. The whole point is to get more stories out there and get more people reading them. You want to connect with people. That's why you're writing stories or drawing stories. You want to connect with people on a personal level, and you want more people to read the stories that you're either creating, or at the very least illustrating for a writer, and being part of a team that connects to your audience. So I would suggest ultra realism is not the way to go, and lots of characterization is where it needs to be for comic strip. So you can see this one's a little weirder. Maybe not alien, maybe sort of some kind of troll or something like that. Lots of trolls in the news at the moment. And this one's going to be sort of kind of like a little lizard guy. Anyway, hopefully this video has given you an insight into how I would approach characterization. Like I say, there's 12 heads that I've drawn here, all off the top of my head. What an expression! All off the top of my head, just straight out of my imagination. Just pick out a shape and drop some features onto that shape, and that's like where you start when you start creating a character. Think about those elements of their character and how they might distort the basic elements of how you would create a face. So hopefully, like I say, this is an insight and has given you some inspiration, maybe to maybe add more characterization to your drawings, or just to think more about the basic elements of characterization from your basic elements of anatomy of faces, where the eyes, nose, mouth goes, how it all fits on a skull, and how to change that in such a way that you can get the character out of it that you want. So hopefully this has been a useful video. I've ranted over the top of it. I'm going to sign off now. So if you like this, please do hit the like button, share, subscribe. I need subscribers, that's what I'm after. I've got a book coming at the end of the year, so that's what I'm looking for. So thanks again for coming and watching the video and being with me in the dojo today. I'm going to finish off with shading here, and I'm going to sign off. Thanks very much for watching. See ya. Thanks for watching Comic Book Black Belt. If you've enjoyed the content from this video, please like, share or subscribe, and come over and follow me on Twitter. It's been great having you in the dojo. See you again soon.